Hello, everyone. Welcome to Post Show Headlines. I'm Andrew Salciunas with John Kincade, April 1st edition, which means quarter number 2. So please like and subscribe.
Yes, subscribe.
Everything that's going on all of our channels with our show, Best Show Ever, Mike Missinelli's show. But we appreciate everybody that's been watching Post Show Headlines and commenting and adding questions as well.
And we are going to start giving away prizes to viewers of Post Show Headlines.
It's quarter 2. So
yes,
how do you make this better? Is
this
one of the
makes it
meetings
better
that we've had.
This
We're going to try
better.
to reward you for watching.
How about that one for you?
All right, 5 questions, 2 minutes each. It's a 10-minute video. We then get the hell out of here. You have something Phillies related. I have something Phillies related, but I'll let you go first.
Okay, when you look at how the Phillies have started the season, and it's 4 games, I was told yesterday at lunch that my idea of waiting till Memorial Day to making an evaluation of a team is way too long. That 50 games, 52 games is actually a third of the season almost, pretty much. It's too long. So, in your mind, as a baseball guy, as a seam head, when do you think is fair? I'm still keeping a Memorial Day because I'm stubborn. I like to see around 50 games. What about for you? And do you think it's fair?
Well, I have different marks. I do wait till the trade deadline before I evaluate the team as a whole.
The trade deadline? So you go all the way to the end of July?
Well, because they have an opportunity to make their team better. Last year, we were doing the show together. I wanted Jazz Chisholm. I wanted him to be the center fielder of the Phillies. They did not do it. He helped the Yankees
go to the World Series.
He's now helping them with the torpedo bat so far to start this season, and he's becoming a fan favorite. And so they had the opportunity, because he still had control, to not only help their team last year, but help the team moving forward. They go with Austin Hayes, and it doesn't work out. So I can reevaluate, I think, multiple times, but I like the May. But here's the thing, saying it's too long or too quick, Bryce Harper could have, not that he's having it, but could have a bad first month. I expect Bryce Harper to eventually get back to form.
That's why I think 50 days is fair.
Yeah.
If Bryce Harper has a bad, look, what have we've seen Harper have a bad 2 weeks. 2.5 weeks, maybe at the longest.
Yeah, it happens.
And then he goes on a titanic tear that just, absolutely flips the whole thing.
He could go cold in September. Look at the Phillies lineup in the playoffs. The Phillies that made the play, I understand there were concerns about the way their approach, right?
Sure.
But did you think they would go ice cold the way that they did? Did you think after what you saw against the D-backs in the first 5 games of the series that they would go ice cold in games 6 and 7?
No, I had no reason to believe that.
So what evaluation process in April, May, June, or July, what would that have done for me come playoff time?
And that is the truth. And I like what you said about the trade deadline, though. The thing is, to me, if I think by Memorial Day my team is good enough or not good enough, then that dictates what I think about the trade deadline.
Right. All right. Question 2. I have something regarding Kyle Schwarber.
Oh.
So he's already on a tear. 3 home runs in the first 4 games of the season.
No torpedo bats needed.
No. We've seen this man hit over 40 home runs a couple of times now in a Phillies uniform.
We have.
He's not a homegrown guy, right? So, no. I don't think of him the way I think about Ryan Howard. But if obviously he's not going to stay on this pace and hit over 100 home runs this season. But if he puts together another 50 home run season, what?
I mean, first off, I would like to see the extension come.
Me too.
For Kyle Schwarber sooner than later.
Yeah.
I don't want to wait. I'm a believer that he is everything. I don't have any reason to think if they give Kyle Schwarber 2 more years, maybe 3, I'm totally fine with it, because I do believe for what he does, he's fantastic. But what I do, and I don't go in, and again, I don't portray myself as a beat writer or anything, but when I'm in that clubhouse, that Phillies clubhouse, it is completely obvious that Kyle Schwarber is the team leader.
He took over Rhys Hoskins'
He is the team leader. And to me, that's incredibly valuable.
Where does he go down?
He goes down as he will go down if he has, let's say this year, and then 2 more that are his 30, first
35. It doesn't have to be 50.
He will be an all-time great Philly. He will be a legend. He will be a legend in this town. He will be an all-time great Philly. He will be a guy who never buys a beer in this town again.
Wow.
I believe Kyle Schwarber is already in the folklore. I think he's sort of already there because first of all, professional, likable,
very likable,
and I think he's got a lot more in the tank. I absolutely would have no problem. 2 more years,
especially now that he's the DH.
2 more years for Kyle Schwarber is a no-brainer. Yeah, absolutely for me.
I agree. All right, you got something basketball related?
Yeah, I got a basketball related question for you. So Nerd Boy was a little bored with The Young and the Restless last night, so I was sort of scrolling as I was watching. Good things going on in Genoa City, though.
I'm happy you have that.
Aristotle Dumas is trying to make a run on Chancellor, and nobody knows who he is. He's a mystery man. But that's not the story. The NBA, I found 7 stories in a matter of 2 months where NBA players with podcasts and everything, current players, are ripping on the product. Do you think the commissioner needs to step in and say, this is a finable offense? They're not allowed to rip officials after a game. But these guys are going on podcasts and these are by the way, the ex-players are ripping the product like Shaq, like Charles, and then are ripping the product even worse. But to me, I think it should be a finable offense. I think if a player goes on a podcast and starts tearing down the NBA product and tearing down the quality of the play, I think that's a finable offense.
See, I don't. And you know what? A good commissioner would then sit down with those players and say, all right, how can we fix this? Because look, Adam Silver did let the players dictate to where we're at now. Super teams and
load management nonsense.
Like, that was a player dictated sort of deal. And he was cool with it. And Adam Silver, like the first 5 years as commissioner, was doing a great job.
He was doing buff. Well, he took over an incredible product.
I know, but it went up even more, and now it's tanking. So if I'm Adam Silver, instead of fining them, it's all right. How can we make this better? Like Rob Manfred, when the whole Houston Astros scandal was going on, instead of listening to the players that played for the other 29 teams, it was just, it's just a piece of metal. Why are they so upset?
It should have been banished. That team, it should have been taken away from them, in my mind.
And it pissed off the rest of the league. So he placated toward one team instead of the rest of the league. Instead of fining a player who is outspoken about the product of the league, I would rather Adam Silver sit down with them and say, all right, so how can we fix this? Because the in-season tournament has not done anything. Play-in tournament's doing nothing. And now the latest report is that they're trying to make a separate league in Europe.
Yes.
Before even fixing your own product.
Right. They would have NBA E. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's a European league.
NBA or ENBA or whatever they're calling it.
Fix your product first, because it's tanking. All right. Have you ever left a game early and then something happened? And I asked this question because I took Coop yesterday to the home opener, and it was like the second or third inning, and he was already, because we did standing room, so we didn't have seats or whatever. So he was on my shoulder. Yeah, how dare I? Sixth inning was kind of the, Daddy, can we please go home? I heard it multiple times, but that was like the, all right, buddy.
Dad, can we go now?
We'll go, just because it started getting louder, and he was done. And we're outside when Trey Turner worked the walk, which, by the way, great at bat. We never talked about
great at bat
by Trey.
He was down 0-2.
You know what? We didn't talk about that.
He was down 0-2.
Great at bat by Trey Turner.
Right, and then he ran the bases like a greyhound.
And I heard that you could hear the crowd noise as we're walking to the car, and then Sosa hits the double, so I missed it.
Right.
When Bryce Harper hit his 300th home run, Trey Turner hit a home run earlier that inning, and Coop didn't like the loud noises. So he left the game, and then Harper hits his 300th career home run. Was there ever a time, whether it was live or you just had to leave for anything, and then something happened after you left?
Okay, I hate that I have to give you this answer. No.
Of course.
Because here's the weird thing. Here's the weird thing. No, that's not the way it is. Because I'll leave a game early sometimes as a media member.
Yeah.
But I just have had incredible luck that I've never gotten one of those. If Phillies are up 7-1, Phillies are losing 7-1. If I'm in the press box and it's seventh inning, I'll many times cut out.
Right. Oh, I got it. And
because I know I'm not going to get. There's no story to hear about afterwards or whatever. Right. But at a game, I've never been burned like that. And I don't. By the way, I'll never leave an NFL game. I'm never leaving an NFL game till I know it's over. Yeah. If I'm in the stands, I'm never leaving until I know it's over. Eagles are up by 3 touchdowns or something.
And they're kneeling down.
I could, so 2-minute warning. Okay, let's hit it. Let's hit it. Phillies up 9-1. I'll hit it.
We're out. Yeah.
But I'm not. No, I've never gotten burned.
Yeah, I got.
So
burned.
I feel. Who'd you get burned by?
I thought Bryce Harper is 300.
That's bad.
And then
no. Wait a minute. What was the game when he hit his 300th? It was Was that an afternoon game?
It was Angels, Phillies Angels.
It was afternoon?
I went to see Ohtani.
I was in Avalon.
Oh, were you really?
And that was on the pool. That was on the pool bar TV.
Yeah.
Because I remember it now. It was last year. I think it was and I was in Avalon. So I can understand. It was hot.
No, but he didn't like the noises from Turner's home run, so it's Trey Turner's fault.
Okay.
All right, last thing. We talked about the Phillies putting up the barriers for the opposing team's bullpen, which I think is weak.
Stupid.
I hate it. Don't PC home field advantage. I'm sorry, just don't. Unless things are being thrown and there's a reason.
And there was no. By the way, I did ask a Phillies representative yesterday. Was there any impetus to this? And I was told no. I was told no, that there was nothing.
Then there's no reason for it.
They did it. I don't know if it's miscongeniality. It is 2025.
I think it's weak.
We have to be nicer to people.
What are some of the best home field advantages that come to your mind?
Are you talking about?
And not even crowd. Like
What's
the old story of the Boston Garden? There was a specific spot on the court where the ball was dead.
No, I can tell you is that working for the Flyers,
the boards.
They would go to remember Boston Garden in Montreal.
Yeah.
There was a time, not in your lifetime, when it was probably when you were a baby. The NHL you did not have to have the same ice.
Oh wow, I didn't know.
You didn't. Like a lot of people don't know that.
I didn't know that.
Boston Garden had the benches were on opposite sides of the arena. Too.
Okay.
Opposite sides of the rink, not next to each other, opposite sides. And it was an advantage to the home team.
Yeah.
And it was also, too, there was a smaller ice surface in Boston.
Okay.
So the Boston Bruins were smaller by 2 feet. So there was a foot on each end of the ice. So they built their team bigger, stronger to knock you around.
Interesting.
Montreal had an odd ice surface. Montreal and Boston, I think, were two of the sites that had it. So that was an incredible home field advantage. I think baseball's got a few of them.
Baseball's the best because you can angle,
and also too you build your team accordingly. Yeah. The Yankees have always built for that short right field porch, and have always built a team for that.
Diamondbacks they don't hit the long balls much, so they have guys
and they load up on pitching and speed. They load up on pitching and guys who keep the ball in the yard. They don't have to worry about it. They can go guys that have fly ball pitchers because they can do that. I love that sports within a parameter that allows the home field advantage like that. In football, I just don't think there really is any.
No.
Like there is, like to me, if you suck in football, you're going to lose.
Right.
Like it's just
right,
one of those
exactly.
things. I don't think, like I love the link. Love the link. I think it's beautiful. I think it's a great atmosphere. But I don't think the link wins you games.
No.
I think that the vet in its heyday could win you a game.
But I think baseball's really the only sport now that you can still do it.
Did the Phillies have anything though?
They used to. Like, that was one of them. Like that was one legitimate. Like you could yell and scream at the bullpen for 9 innings if you want.
I like baseball stadiums that have very little foul territory between the baselines. I like a closer, more intimate park.
By the way,
than that.
If you play at the home stadium, you know the dimensions, especially if you're a center fielder. So that cutout in center field, like that is a home field advantage because when you're there every day, if somebody hits it,
you know how to react
for it. We saw it with the Braves when Real Muto, Chase Utley hit his inside the Parker off that part.
I can't believe baseball allowed the Astros to do the hill in center field.
I love
that. I can't see. I hated it. I hated it because all I could see is somebody tearing their ankle.
Yeah, I know. It was hard. There was the pole was right. Like I
hated it. Like I did not like that when they allowed that.
Quarter 2 began today, so like and subscribe. We appreciate it.
We love you.
Everybody have a great rest of your day. Back at it tomorrow. Adam Schefter on the show Wednesday mornings as always.
Always
Thanks
fun.
As always. Talk to you tomorrow. Hey guys, Andrew Salciunas from Kincade and Salciunas. Thank you for checking out all of our stuff on YouTube. Make sure you click, like, subscribe on everything that you see. And of course, you can see everything from our YouTube feed. Full shows, interviews, when John's being an idiot, which is like 15 times a day. So make sure you check out all of our stuff on YouTube. We appreciate it.